Hello, everybody. Welcome to our very first RCB College podcast. Today, we are discussing a very crucial topic, which is affecting a lot of people's life. The topic is 7 Grieves of Refugees. Joining us is our very own medical program instructor, Mr. Mehran. Mr. Mehran is PhD in psychology, specifically on immigrant issues and expatriate mental health, psychotherapist, and counselor, who will share insights on the challenges faced by the refugees. Thank you for being here, Mr. Mehran.
Thank you for having me in the first podcast, and I hope we have many podcasts on immigration issues.
Definitely. So let's start with the introduction. To start, could you give us a brief overview of why it is important to discuss these grieves faced by the refugees?
Yeah, of course. But first of all, let me just share with you my background and the reason that I started this topic many years ago. When I pursued my education in PhD in Malaysia in 2008, there were many questions in my mind to start as the testing hypothesis as a PhD student and a candidate. And one of them that encouraged me to catch was the immigration issue and the immigrant challenges. Why? Because I was a newcomer myself, right? And I was challenging with many difficulties myself, and I found it very difficult to adjust and adapt to the new environment. That's why I asked myself if the others suffering the same issues, right? And I tried to find a solution for the immigrants' problem and the issues. And I tried to search for a factor that can be a coping strategy factor and parameter to help immigrants and refugees for adjusting and adapting to the new challenges and new culture and new environment. If anything can help them to reduce the suffering and pain and survive pain. And I found there are several issues and challenges every single refugee and immigrant and newcomer facing with, which is collected into the 7 Grieves now. That is a developing theory by Carter. And it said every newcomer that moved to a new country facing many grieves. And these grieves created the challenges not only for newcomers but the local residents, and increases the conflict between a group of people that's searching for a better life and a group of people that already, occupied the environment, It is a new kind of a war between people that they have reason to say that's my own country, that you are a guest, and a guest that, consider himself or herself as, has a reason to find a way to the better life and find the environment and a place for placing himself into. So, the reason that searching for this topic is, and the reason that for saying the significance of this topic is reducing the conflict between two groups of people, that they form a wrong attitude about others. I tell you the story. When I was in Malaysia, people thought, this is my experience, I've been traveling around the different countries. I was in Turkey, I was in Malaysia, in Dubai, and also now in Canada, and my own homeland of my country also. So I found people just blame others for the issue that it is not, the others not responsible for those issues. In Malaysia, local people blame newcomers and immigrants responsible for crime. But according to the statistic, only 3.5% of crime committed by newcomers in Malaysia. Other 96.5 crime committed by local. When I was in Turkey, because I spent 6 years in Turkey as well as a psychology lecturer, a professor of Gelishim University. So I found Turkish people responsible and blame newcomers for economical issues. You see? But according to the statistic, every country after the pandemic, COVID, facing the economic crisis, right? This is not the newcomer's responsibility. You shouldn't accountable.
Why they were blaming those people? Well, was it about jobs? Was it about...
Yeah, the uncertainty, job uncertainty was the issue, the currency issues, because when I moved in Turkey, the one lira, $1 equals to 6 Turkish lira. But now is $1 is 35 Turkish lira. Imagine, because the government cannot manage the economy. It is different issues. That's a political issue that impacts on economy. But Turkish people, the local residents, blame newcomers because the number of people attracted to Turkey, and they think, the Turkish government interested in attracting new students and wants to open their doors. But local people disagree with the government and say, bringing newcomers to the country causes some economy issues, which is not true. That is the understanding of newcomers and immigration. We are living in the village. The world can be, compared with the village. Now we have to communicate each other. We have to understand each other. Who knows that the newcomer rescue you from the issues?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The people, especially the knowledge workers, especially the professional people, engineers, coming to your country and the other countries to solve the problem, the social problems, and making your country better than before. So that is the wrong attitude toward newcomers, that increases the grieves, right? Increases the grieves. And newcomers are suffering. And there is a very big challenge for newcomers to find the solution to increases the integration, cultural integration, right? And I found one of the main factors in my PhD, I tested the main factor that can help newcomers to adjust and adapt easily: sense of place. The question is, can we improve and maybe make it faster adjustment and adaptation to new environment by improving sense of new place in newcomers? That was the question, and I found yes, there is possible helping and learning, training newcomers to find the way and the strategies to build the sense of new place. Yeah, that is the reason, right? To reduce the conflicts, you should consider yourself as a resident, right?
So one significant issue is being away from the family.
Yeah.
How does the separation impact refugees, I would say, emotionally and mentally?
Yeah, okay. You yourself, you can imagine a family and friends as a very big support. Very important support in your life. Whenever you are facing difficulties, you go back to your family, your dad, your mom, and your friends to share your emotions and asking for help, asking for solution, collecting information, asking for help because they have an experience and they can share with you, right? So for newcomers, when they away from family and friends, they are uprooted, right? Like a tree. This is a good analogy, that you are a tree without the roots, right? Yeah. So how is it going on? What's happening for a person without the root, a tree without the root? You should rebuild the new roots, right? And that is the coping strategy. And you are a tree that is suspended, hanging, like a tree hanging, because you don't have a people to share your feeling, your emotion, along with the language barrier, that you don't know how to express and disclose your feeling and emotion, right? And you don't have someone finding a person to listen to you, listen to secrets, your sorrows, your feeling. It's very difficult in a new country, a new environment. It takes time, maybe 5 years. 3 to 5 years to find a person, to be able and equip yourself to be able to talk about your emotion, Like a baby, you learn a language and you don't know how to express yourself. That is the problem. being away from family and friends causes very big challenge for newcomers. And at the same time, residents and local people are not accepting to give you a time and a space. Right?
Because everybody's busy in their own
Yeah, they are busy. They have a very hectic, plan. They have own challenges, and they need to manage their own life, their stresses, and the life is very stressful these days. So they are alone. It causes loneliness, dislocation, the sense of dislocation that causes a mental health issue, anxiety, depression, paranoia. Yeah, that's why we need to work on this. This is one of the factors in sorrow and the grief that we have to give them a coping strategy. One of the coping strategies that I can share with you very quickly is helping newcomers to rebuild a new relationship. Find a family-like relationship in new environment. Family-like relationship with the residents, and the locals.
Right, great. So, culture shock is another major issue.
Yeah, sure.
What does this experience looks like for many refugees?
The cultural shock. According to the theories in psychology, there are 4 factors that every newcomer experience when they move to new countries. The first of all is the stage of honeymoon. They are happy because they experience new things that they haven't been with there, right? But it takes 3 months. After 3 months, if you get used to whatever you have as a new and a novel things, then you will be frustrated. The cultural shock, the differences, causes shock and this acculturation. That is making stress, which is called acculturative stress. Then you don't know how to adapt to the new culture and the people expectation. That it gives you the sense of dislocation and destroy your sense of self, your identity. Because you already identify yourself with the other cultures, the rituals, and the ceremonies, and whatever, the social norms, and now you are facing and exposing to something that is new. Rules, social norms, and social expectation. Then you don't know how to adapt, how to adjust. The cultural shock is the second stage, and is a very, very, very crucial, and they need help. And they don't know how to ask for help. That's why the government is responsible for providing them services. For every refugee should be a supporter, a guardian, the mentor that help them and train them. This is a different cultural differences and these are the strategies for adapting and adjusting to cultural differences. And, I'm asking the government, you are spending, especially in Canada, I have a statistic that $1.7 million government spent for providing services, even the psychology services and the other services. But do you know that newcomers are not familiar with the services that are available?
Yeah, I wasn't aware, yeah. True.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you know there is a mental map? The government should provide a map, should provide information for us, the newcomers, that you are equipped by government those services. And do you know the main issue in this case is, there are several services available, but newcomers don't know how to access. Do you know? That is the point. And also...
And there's, sorry to cut you down, but there's also a disconnect of local culture as well, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to communicate, and they don't know what the culture is. And
they're not familiar with the culture, with the rituals and traditions.
Yes.
Yes.
So with that disconnect with the local culture can be isolating. So my next question will be, what are the factors that contribute to that disconnect with the local culture?
The local culture. What are the factors that contribute? One of them is reluctance by residents to accept, to share with the newcomers the cultural points. And another case, you identify yourself with what you've experienced and you grown in the old culture and your traditional, that's a heritage, that you don't know how to balance between a heritage and a new culture. That is another factor that causes some issues, right? And you learn the strategies for solving the issue that is based on your traditional or past and old culture, not new culture. That is, causes some loss of sense of belonging. Disconnection, sense of belonging, which is important to identify. That's why we recommend newcomers, to embrace the new culture and starting the strategy of biculturalism. The problem is, the local culture recommends newcomers to forget your past or old culture and accept everything from me, which is a wrong attitude. And newcomers, starting to fight and challenge with the new cultures and, want to keep their own position and their own attitude, that you should be mild, soft, and liberal. And they don't like it. So that is a big challenge. So we need to, create the strategies for helping newcomers to understand biculturalism. While you are committed to your own culture, you have to learn step by step the new point of view, new perspective.
The language barrier is also a significant challenge for the refugees or the immigrant in any country. How does that affect communication and daily life of refugees?
Yeah, what's important to mention is that new language creates a different barriers. Not only just to everyday functioning, because we are using a language for two purposes. One is for just everyday functioning, daily life, and the second one is just for sharing an expression, your emotional expression and connection. That is the big issue for newcomers. For daily life, you can solve the issue, you can manage your life, but for emotional expression, you are facing the difficulties because the language, you should be very professional in language to be able to express your emotion in a new languages. That's why it takes a long time for newcomers to find the ability and proficiency in new languages. Okay, so in this case, there are several solutions that they should try. Otherwise, they experience sense of dislocation, right? Sense of dislocation that is causes loss of identity in newcomers. All right, the coping strategy is asking newcomers to learn how to express their emotion rather than just, managing daily life. And joining different activities in a new environment, to find this ability to be equipped, to be able to express the emotion. And, joining different groups, that let them give them a space to talk and find a friend and build a new relationship with the people that, accept you, express your emotion. That's a social network. They have to be able to build a new network in the host country. So otherwise, they feel loneliness. Again, a sense of loneliness.
So along with the loneliness, I think many refugees also experience the loss of status.
Mm.
Can you explain what this means and its implications?
Yes, unfortunately, that is, the newcomers were in their own country and homeland with a high level of status, a standing position, very highly, being respected, esteemed, and praised by the country, and because of the political issue, especially refugees, why they leave their home country? Because they are not safe there, right? This is not a this is not a point that you consider them as not able to earn money and make money, and they didn't have a good position over there. They look for a safe place. The reason for moving to new places is looking for a safe place. That's why, it's very difficult for them to be professional, to be considered and evaluated as a professional expert in new countries. The reason is, the new countries already organized with their own experts. And there is no place for newcomers, new professional people in a new environment. That it causes loss of status. When you are moving to new countries, people don't evaluate and accept you as the expert. No matter if you are holding PhD. In Canada, there is a culture that you can consider. They accept and agree their own authorized university and the certificate that are issued by own universities. What is the difference between the universities? All universities around the world, they have their own rank, and they are evaluated by the same organization. But when you go and move to Canada, the universities and the other organization never evaluate your certificate as a authentic, or otherwise you have to send to the specific organization to be evaluated. So they prefer people graduated from their own universities. You can understand how challengeable is a life for newcomers, even a professional and expert. And it is a point of losing a status. And it takes time to prove yourself as the expert. Showing, this is my challenge as well, right? You can see. I'm struggling to send a message to the new environment that, hey, I can help you to improve your society. Do you know the people that moved to United States from my home country? And they are occupying, the different important position now in Google, NASA, and the other organization? How long it took for them to prove themselves to the local environment and residents? 40 years. You see?
Yes, most of the time it's entire lifespan.
Yes. And do you know there is a less possible opportunities for newcomers and experts? Do you know how many people are driving Uber in your country that they are expert? And I'm talking to them every day because I'm taking Uber every day, and I'm talking to them, I'm asking their position. They say, I'm driving Uber, and I'm asking them, are you graduated person, expert, knowledge worker? They say, yes. I'm engineer, I'm holding a PhD, I'm holding a master's degree. You see? There is no place for professional and expert when they're moving to a new country. Then we have to think about. It causes a social problem because it gives them frustration. It frustrates people that they were professional, expert, praised, esteemed with a high level of status in their own country, and they had to move to a new country, but they are not praised, esteemed as before now. Loss of status. That causes a sense of, disregard. They are
And
not.
that kind of exposes them to other risks as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other risk is the family problem. Family conflict is higher than local residents among newcomers, immigrants, especially refugees. Every day they are arguing, quarreling each other, and aggressive. They are very aggressive. They are not happy. The house that is cozy place for you to take a rest is, I would say, the battle land for refugees and newcomers, and they don't know how to manage the couple conflicts. They have to be trained in this case as well. There are some coping strategy for marital issues among refugees that I think later in the following podcast we should go through and
For
help.
sure. Yeah, for sure, definitely. Thank you, Mr. Mehran, for shedding light on these important issues. Before we wrap up, today. What message would you like to share with our listeners regarding supporting refugees or immigrants?
Yes. I need to share a message with the different groups of people. First of all, I want to share with the government, because, the social factors are more serious. And a government can help refugees and newcomers because this is a government that, providing services. I want to tell them, the services that you provide is okay, nice, right? But the problem is accessibility, with accessibility. All right? And there are several creative solutions that you haven't tried yet. You need to try, all right? First of all, I strongly recommend government to accept newcomers to share with you the solution. Because they are most important people and group of people that, telling you that what is the solution and expressing their emotion and their issues and the secrets, yeah? Give them a position, give them a space, to talk. And the money is fair enough, but the point is there is a communication issues between a government and newcomers. There is not a very close relationship between them. That's why I'm suggesting government to create a group of newcomers and asking them to work on the issue themselves. All right?
Yeah.
Our college can do it. We are planning to do.
Yes.
Yeah, we are planning to do. We are planning to share our own attitude. The second group of people that I want to send a message to is local residents. We are all friends. We are all the member of the same planet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to accept each other. We shouldn't blame others because one of the issues that the newcomers facing is racism, xenophobia, the physical risk for newcomers. One of the Grieves, xenophobia means fear of the strangers. That is one of the mental problem among local residents, xenophobia, the fear of strangers. We are not strangers from other planet. We are in the same planet, living together to make life better. Who knows, I maybe one day can help you to have a good and better life. And I improve everything in your country if I can do it. Because there is a good intention in me and other newcomers, sure. Right? This is the second message. And the third message, which is very important, I'm sending a message to newcomers. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and look at the life in a big picture. You are sent to new environment because I believe God sent you to new environment for a certain mission. Don't give up. Yeah, that is the messages that I do have for today.
That was amazing. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Mr. Mehran, for doing this podcast with us. If you guys like to know more about any other topic, or if you guys want any other topic that we should talk about, let us know in the comments. And up till next time, see ya.